Hi guys, so I am so close to the camera. I'm not loving seeing my face that close to the camera. Sorry to scare you for that, but we are back and we're gonna do the rest of the houses. We're going to finish the gingerbreads, and also we have the peppermint, and I'm gonna show you the two ways that you can do that. I also have the rolling pin, which yours is different. This was my original. I painted the handles white, and I kind of liked it just natural how it was. So I'm just gonna roll with this one, no pun intended. And we'll do this guy as well. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna show you a couple of different ways that I have found here recently that I've actually been just kind of skipping a couple of steps, and I'm loving this blue stencil paper even more than ever right now. And although, yeah, you still have to definitely make sure that you base coat it. At least I prefer that. I know many of you guys don't. You skip that step, but for me, I'm so old school with that and just like to do it. I feel like it saves me steps later of touching up, and touching up is one of those things that I absolutely like want to cry every time I have to do a touch up of anything. But sometimes you get lucky with them, and you even can leave a couple pieces behind. And I've just been weeding it directly on the item itself, and it just seems to be a little bit faster for me, and then not have to deal with the pieces coming off as I'm peeling it, sticking it back on, and all. So the other thing is, you just saw I ripped off the roof because I actually did that with the majority of these, and it was a huge time saver for me. So I'm just lining this up, going to make sure that it's on. If you don't have a scraper, I really recommend them. You can also use a credit card, like an old credit card. And that's what I used for years and years and years. So there we go. On those, going to go ahead and weed that really quick. There it is. I've got my handy dandy X-Acto right here. And just gonna quickly weed out what we don't need. I'm gonna base coat it. While it's drying, we can base coat the white on the other items, and go from there. Okay. So hope you guys are having fun with these, and they're coming right along for you. So far, there's not really anything that I feel like is like a new trick for y'all. But still fun to do new things. So the heart. What I did with the heart is I just kind of set it to the side, and I put it on, sorry, not that part. Thinking, here I go with my, the door. I just kind of set it up on the roof, like, so it's still kind of just attached so I didn't lose it. Just put it somewhere, because you will want to have that again. You'll also notice that there is not a, peppermint right here on these, and I ended up changing them, but when I cut yours, I believe yours have it on there. And I sent them separate, or maybe you have both. I can't remember. I cut them a while ago. So you do have that separate. So if you have it separate, and I just set it to the side, because we'll get back to that. It was just easier to do it that way than, we just found that it was easier to do it that way than keep them attached, just to do them separate, because we found like those little pieces wanted to come off and they were kind of a pain. And so we wanted to make it just, I wanted to make it just as simple as I possibly could for you. So I chose to have them separate, or send you a separate piece, just so there wasn't any like frustration trying to keep it all together. And when that starts to happen these days, I'm like, forget it, we'll just send it separate, because I think that it really does become easier for you to do it separate. So don't worry. I did not worry about the door knobby also. I just took that off. It looked great in theory, but once again, some things just don't want to cut well for whatever reason. And so you can just not worry about that. And sorry, I have multiples happening, but I have to get these all done. So I'm trying to stay on my A game here with all going on, everything happening with Thanksgiving and Black Friday and everything going on here. So you guys get to see a couple of them done. All right, so those are good. I am going to use that same paint that I showed you earlier, and we will just go ahead and base coat this so that we don't have anything going underneath. I'm not even really going all the way up to the roof. I'm just literally going to around like the scalloped edge, and same with the door. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be the entire thing. Just enough to get a little bit there that it'll stop it for you. All right, so there's that guy. We're gonna set him, I'm gonna actually put him in the sun right here to dry, hopefully a little bit faster. We'll do the same with this guy. Oop. And there we go. All right, done. Base coating, done. So next thing we're gonna do is base coat. Actually, I need to put the cookies on here. Once again with this, I did find it easier to just pull the whole thing off all at once, whether you want to use your transfer tape or not. I'm just kind of trying to show you guys other ways that might be helpful with cutting down on a few steps. Oh, the other thing is I learned, you know, because you learn the hard way, let your rolling pin kind of like rest itself and then put your stencil on, because if you put it up here, it's going to want to like roll around. So find where it likes to rest and then put the stencil on. I found that to be definitely an afterthought. Probably you guys don't need to even be told or, you know, shown, because you probably already thought of that. Well, I didn't when I first did it. I just grabbed it and put it on and moved on from there, and then after the fact realized, oh, it really actually does have a spot where it wants to rest. So hopefully that will help save you any moments of, oh man. So I will tell you guys that the inside of the O, that itty bitty tiny piece, is one to be on the lookout for. It does not like to stay. And it's just one of those itty bitty pieces that, you know, they're a pain. But it's all good. Hopefully that little heads up is helpful for you. My hands are so dry. There you go. All right, so I'm putting that piece on. I just did it upside down. That was awesome. Don't think you guys can even see this, but I'll give you an up close shot in just a second. I'm just removing all the letters, which is kind of like decide on your own what you like, if you like to remove them first and put them on or not. But it's taken me years to, sometimes it's years of like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that before? But I did, and my O came right off. So I'm just putting the other O on. And that sneaky little silly piece over here that doesn't want to stay. Let's see, sometimes if I just stick it on and slide it right off, we're good to go, which is what I just did. So now I can kind of like pick it up. Set it back down. And I'm just kind of going over it again just to make sure it's good and stuck down. Can put this, but sometimes with those little pieces, the scraper will move them around, and that's not what I want to have happen. So can you guys see that? Those two itty bitty little pieces right there are on. They're kind of a pain though. So we're gonna base coat that in just a minute. The other thing that I am going to do is just base coat these super quick. The one thing that I wanna show you is you're gonna notice that you can use your positive or your negative with these. So you decide on what you want to do. That's, we use both. So we were able to get 2 peppermints out. So if you have any extra circles around and you wanna make an additional one, you absolutely can. So that was kind of nice for us with really utilizing all of the products that we had to cut. So I'm just going to go over, I found just fast to go over the whole thing. And I'm gonna set them in the sun maybe. There we go. My white paint over there. Sorry it's not in view, but I needed my space. All right, done. I got one more I'm gonna do just super fast. Sorry guys. And there we go, drying. Next, I'm going to pull out the red really quick. The red that I found that I like, my favorite red, I've used so many different reds, but for Christmas, my favorite red is the Home Decor Folk Art red paint. I like it because it's not, it is a bright red, but it also has some depth of color to it. So that's what this one is. I'm pretty sure that you can get that at Michael's. I believe it's Michael's, and I'm pretty sure Hobby Lobby would have it too. They seem like they have a better paint selection than what we have. So I'm gonna try to just use the red on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to get the red on here so that too can base coat. Or be base coated, be drying, I don't know. Okay, done. While those are all drying, we are going to look at our gingers, and I hope that I gave you guys all enough ribbon. I really tried when we cut the ribbons to give you enough to work with. It's so much easier when it's hard to do tiny ribbons, you know? So I guess we'll do this really quick. So I am like almost out of ribbon after cutting everybody's and making all the little bows. So there's a couple different ways. You can definitely do bunny ear, and around. With this being a one-sided ribbon, it's kind of a pain. I'm sorry about that, but it was like the perfect ribbon. It was what I really wanted. You just have to kind of like manipulate it a little bit so that it's going to, try not to get, I probably have paint on my hands. It's a bad idea with white, but we'll go for it anyways. Okay, so there's our ribbon. Oops, you didn't even see that, did you? I'm so sorry. There we go with that. So because I was able to kind of manipulate it a little bit, I was able to make it so that both of the sides, the polka dot showed up on the front side, and I just kind of like twisted it as I was going around. So we're just gonna cut and cut. This is for little girl, but I have my glue gun already hot and ready to go. So I'm gonna show you, oh, I did this on purpose. I wanted to show you this. So there is this one here. You see how we're missing the polka dot? So I wasn't very successful with manipulating it. So before I glue it, I'm just gonna manipulate it like so. So they're both showing. And then I'm going to stick a tiny little glue right back here so that it stays. So I put her bow right on the side of her head. And I just kind of like drag the bow through, the bow ribbon through that itty bitty glue back there. And you can't exactly see it, but it's glued down so it's not going to move. Okay, so there we go. So it's flipped up just a hair because I was trying to show y'all and I messed it up. So if you just add, I'm not doing good with the frame. I'm trying to get you guys close, but the way that the lighting is right now with the sun coming through, I've got to be on this side. So there we go. I just put a little bit of glue to hold it down. So we'll put her to the side. We'll do little girl here. Cute. Always reminds me of like the cheerleading bow. So super fun. So then what I did with the hearts on the larger one, well actually for both of them, the girls, I just used my, let's see if I can turn it this way. I used my X-Acto and I'm just doing a, like almost like a V. It's not very straight. Hi baby.
Hello.
So almost like a V, if you guys can see that. There, and that's my heart. You can definitely use like a paint pen or something white, or even like buttons would be cute. Anything, you know, anything would be cute, but I just thought hearts would be cute, and you're already gonna have your paint out, so we can use that. So, like I said, hopefully you guys can see a V. And you can definitely use a thin little paintbrush as well. But over the years, I have found that my little V hearts work well. And since I made a little boo-boo on there, if you guys can see it, this is my painting sweatshirt, so there it goes. And I'm just going to scrape that part off really quick. There she is. Okay, so we'll do her eyes in just a second. Little girl here is getting the same, but we'll do 2 hearts on her. You guys can see that. Should have put my hair back. And give it a little bit more right here. All right. Okay, so yes, they still need eyes. We'll get there in just a second. And I want to do the boys really quick. So you do have two separate bow tie sizes. And you're gonna notice I'm using the same size, and I'm sorry, but I didn't realize that I cut out exactly enough. So, of the little one. So this guy's bow tie is gonna be a little big on him, but I don't think it matters. You can use any type of glue. I just happened to use the hot glue because I had it out and it worked well. There we go. Okay, so for their eyes, I do like my Posca paint pen, and I think it works really well. I'm just going to give them, you guys can see that? There we go. Same with big boy here. And I just did a little bit of like oval eyes, just personal preference. All right, boom. All right, so for the girls, I did an oval eye. But I'll show you what else I did. I gave her lashes as well. It was always my students, when we would do art projects, I would always ask them if they wanted lashes, and all the girls always had to have lashes. So I was known for my lashes on all of my crafts. So I use a thin pen, and I think you guys can see that. I'll try to do it on the side, but I just give her a little wisps. You see? Hopefully that comes through. So, little girls have to, us gals have to have our lashes. So, there we go on that.